free, leave your cares at home. Leave your cares at home. Do your two-step, get your groove on. This is feel good music, you can move on. Relax, stress free, leave your cares at home. Leave your cares at home.
I love that song.
Yes, that is the Keto Cookout theme music there. Shout out to my man DJ Hot Hands, wherever he may be. He's the guy that made that beat. And shout out to my man Greg, of course, for Greg Wendell for making the intro. I'm not smart enough to do any of that kind of stuff, so I need
Well,
people.
you have friends, so that's
right. Yes, I do.
you need.
I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns.
Russ, you're frozen.
I am? Oh, so that's all I
Just
needed.
just for a second.
I've had so many technical difficulties today. I don't know what is going on. But I was in full Garth Brooks mode there.
I know.
Well, I'm not big on so praises. Ain't got to slip on down to the old places. Oh, I got friends in low places. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I started out the show with a song today. Yeah, we're taking it back. I love country music. You wouldn't know that. You know, I know I look like a thug, but I'm really not.
Now, who's going to be stereotyping tonight? Is it you?
Probably. It's probably me.
We can't do that. We can't stereotype people, Russ.
I hate to say it. It's probably me.
It's probably the Ohio more than it is.
Yeah, that's Sting. Actually, that's not a Sting song. I can't remember. I can't remember who wrote that song. Sting sung it. It's from I think it was written by somebody else. It was from the soundtrack of Lethal Weapon. What? Yeah. It's probably me. You don't know that song?
All right, sing it. I don't know.
I hate to say it. It's probably me.
I don't recognize that one. Sorry. Don't recognize that one.
If you're down in the net, if your belly's empty and the hunger's so real, you're too dumb to beg and too proud to steal. Something, and something. What else could you see? Ask yourself who'd watch for me. Your only friend to reach out and set you free. I'd hate to say it, but it's probably me. Yeah, it's a great song. You need listen.
I need to check it out.
You need to Google "It's Probably Me" by Sting. Do you like Sting and the Police? Did you like them? Yeah. Oh, I love Sting and the Police. I send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle. Yeah, I could go on and sing, but it's a great song. It's off the soundtrack of Lethal Weapon or Lethal Weapon 2.
Oh, okay.
It's called "It's Probably Me." I love that song. Great song. Anyway, I'm digressing. What's going on, everybody? I haven't even properly introduced my ride or die nurse, Kim. She is here with me for the duration of the show.
Oh, I'm here. I am here, and I didn't even have to work today, so that worked really well because I'm not exhausted. Sometimes I sit here and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, I'm here, guys. I'm here." So I'm well rested. I'm well rested. That's a good thing.
Well, everybody knows I love me some Kim, so that is my girl to the end of the world. So
thank you.
Let's start with you. You didn't work today, but other than that, how's your week been? How's everything going?
It's been great. Everything's going well. I did purchase my Keto Palooza ticket.
Yes, I love that. That gets a round of applause too.
I will be at Keto Palooza, and I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
I liked last year. It was my first year, but I think that the second year, I'll probably recognize quite a few more people than I did
absolutely
last year even. So
listen, you only need two, one on your right and one on your left. And I think I got that covered because our girl Laura's going to be there,
Yeah.
and we're going to escort you because we're going where the meat is swinging. I'm just
Listen, you have to keep my anxiety down, okay? Because
I got you, man. I
anytime
got you,
I see
sis.
swinging meat, I'm just like,
Yes, yes. Listen, you know, I
yeah.
listen. We can eat. We'll even get you your own private steak if you want. I'll make sure if you don't want to take one of the swings, if you don't want one of the meat off the swings,
If
not
they
a
could
problem.
just bring it to our table first, that would be great.
Yeah, I will do one better. You order your nice big ribeye or a big picanha or whatever you want, and we'll just have them put it right on you. And I'll tell them she doesn't like her meat to touch too much air, so she has a
I
little
don't like
meter in
my
her
meat to
purse.
touch. I don't like my meat to touch everybody else's like spit
Air.
flying off their mouth. And
Yeah,
it's not
that's
just
what I
their
said.
air. It's I
Yeah,
know too much about like the transmission of diseases and things. And it's
yeah,
not even that. It's
yeah.
more the spit than anything.
Yes,
I don't know.
there's my
Gross me out.
main man. He is Slayer of the Duck. Rick is in the building. What's going on, brother?
Hey Rick.
PC, Dave, I was just thinking about you today, man. You emailed me and stuff a while back. I've been so tied up, but I'm gonna have some free time. I'll be on vacation. Yes, listen, it's kind of a for those who don't know, for those who may be new to our experience here, or or
And
didn't
what an
see that.
experience it is,
Yes,
right?
yeah. Listen, if you don't know what we do here, you join the club because we don't know what we do. This is just a fun open stream. It's just a cookout. Come on, hang out with us. As always, the link is in the chat if you want to come in and chop it up with us. Feel free. But anyway, for those who don't know, Kim had one experience at a Brazilian steakhouse,
And I didn't even
and
stay and eat.
yes, it didn't last long because she is averse to, meat being transported through a big, crowded, busy restaurant with all kinds of breath and air and meat just swinging around on these skewers. And so, yeah, that's what this is about. But she is coming back. We're going back to the scene of the trauma. Okay,
Yes.
we're going back, but this time she's going to have her brother and her
Exposure
sister.
therapy.
She's going to have her brother and her sister with her. We're going to guide her through, and and listen. Laura and I will eat enough swinging meat, more swinging meat than a caged tiger. Okay, but
Oh my God.
if she cannot endure all the air in the meat and touching and the all of that, not a problem. We'll make sure they prepare her a steak and bring it out to her on her own private plate so that she can endure the carnivore delight that is the Brazilian steakhouse. Because, listen, the Brazilian steakhouse is Disneyland for carnivores. I mean, that's really what it is. It's Disneyland for carnivores. And we want every child in the family to experience Disney World.
Okay. I'm gonna try my hardest. I am. I'm gonna
We
try my
got you,
hardest.
sis. We got you. We got
To
you.
be fair, Russ, last year we were sitting at a table with about 50 people that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we had to wait for an extended period of time. And I'm kind of
Yeah.
one of those people. I know I'm weird. I know I am, but I'm kind of one
I'm
of those
weird
people
too.
that like, if I'm somewhere and I'm not feeling it, I
Yeah.
like want to get up and leave right then. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I can't help it. It's just like, I just felt the need to leave. I was like, I'm not gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna pay like $100 for this. And I'm gonna be mad. So I just left. I'm like,
Well, here's the $1 million question I have for you. How long does it take for you to know that it's not going to work? Like, was this something that
not
5
long.
minutes in you were good, or was it 10, 20? How long did it take before you're like, I can't take it?
15 and I wasn't feeling it.
Okay, I got you. So you knew relatively quickly
Oh
before
yeah.
anybody was eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they haven't even brought, I think they'd brought our drinks. I think that was it. They'd brought our drinks. And
Yeah.
I just leaned over to Nicole and I'm like, I know you just met me. I I know this is gonna sound weird,
Hey,
and I'm not
nothing after
leaving
that
you.
can be good.
Okay. I'm
Listen,
like,
nothing after that can be good. When somebody
I
says to
know.
you starts out with, I know we just met, but yeah, what comes after that, it can almost never be
I'm
good.
like, don't take offense to this. This is not about you. You have a ride here with our other friend that we met today, but she's really cool, or I could come back and get you. I don't even mind to swing back by and get you.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling it. And I
yeah,
want to go back to the hotel and I want to order in, and that's what I did. And I had a grand old
yeah,
time. So
yeah. Now, did she try to stop you, or did she just go with it?
no, I think she was kind of like, what is going on? But she's just like, okay, she's very supportive. She
Yeah, she's
understands.
sweet.
If
Shout
the
out to
mind
Nicole.
is if the
Yeah,
mind is not, in it, like why would I pay $100 and like not enjoy it? It didn't
yeah.
make any
No, no.
sense.
I totally understand where you're coming from on that. And like I said, and if you get in there and you're not comfortable, whatever, we'll go somewhere else. We'll go to Longhorn or something,
Thank
and
you.
we'll. Oh, come on, man. You know we ride
I
with you,
think I,
man.
I think I can do it. I think I can do it.
Yes. Well, like I said, you'll definitely be with people that you know more so that I think will take half of the pressure off of you because you'll
Yeah.
be with comfortable things. Do you know
Yeah,
if Nicole is
I
coming?
think that was a lot of it. No, she's not coming this time.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
think that was a lot of it, was just like there were so many people. It was so
yeah,
crowded. I didn't know anybody. I really didn't even know Nicole. Like I said, we had just
yeah,
met the day before.
yeah.
I was feeling weird. I just was feeling like a little bit homesick and a little, I know it sounds silly, but
Listen,
you know,
anxiety is
yeah, it's a
real.
little bit of that.
Plus, you're further along in your, so maybe some of those anxiety issues of, the sweet nectar of beef tallow has just helped you release those, and you'll be free. You'll be in there
Maybe.
just in a whole different place
I
because
think
over the
it'll be
past year,
fine.
yes, yes, yes. And
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I agree. Apex Odyssey says howdy. Hey, Apex, good to see you. Susan, that is wonderful to see you there.
Hey,
And
Susan.
that's right. Yeah. Yes. There you go. Somebody was out hunting. A hunting we will go. Hunting we will go. Yeah, I love that. I will be on the road this week, headed your way, up towards Ohio. And so I'm excited about that. I got the wires crossed somehow. I don't know how this is going to go. Brett put together, and I guess I have to take responsibility for this. I will take responsibility. He put together the meetup for this Friday, and because I told him I was, coming, but I guess I didn't. I might have said I would be there Friday when I'd be there that weekend when I was saying I was leaving that weekend. I guess because he put a meetup together in Indy somewhere for this Friday, like 3 days from now, and sent out the emails to everybody. And I emailed, and I'm like, sorry, I guess I screwed this up, but I'm actually leaving, heading that way, and I won't be there, until next Friday, not this Friday. So I don't know what we're going to do. Some people are like, "Hey, let's do it both weeks." Let's have 2 meetups, and then other people had other things. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I certainly hope I get to meet up with some folks, but I will be in the Columbus area the week, that whole week from like the week of the 23rd. So shout out to anybody in Central Ohio, Columbus area. If you see this, and shoot me a message. Who knows where I'll be or what I'll be doing, but maybe we could put something together. Because I do plan on eating some meat during that time. There's, I think, one Brazilian steakhouse in Columbus, maybe 2. So it doesn't have a ton of them. Like Orlando's got like 6 of them. They're everywhere down there. But yeah. Rick says Disney's overpriced. It seems boring. All you do is stand in line. Well, to a 50-year-old guy, yeah, you're probably right about that. But if you were a kid, you would definitely find things to do. And yeah, I promise you. Matter of fact, Rick, brother, you listen. You mark my words. You and I are going to a Brazilian steakhouse sooner than you think. I'm going to say within the next 12 months. I'm talking to you, King of the Duck Slayers. You and I are going to go to a Brazilian steakhouse, maybe in Miami, maybe somewhere else. I don't know, but we're going to do that. You and me, brother. And we're going to go in and tear them up. That is going to happen. Is there a meetup somewhere else? I don't know. I'm the last ones to hear about the meetups. I'm telling you. I guess people don't like me enough. But I'm always the last one to hear about meetups. So I'm not the person to ask about that, but I'm sure there's so many of them, so many different places. Like I said, I couldn't make it anyway. I'll be in Ohio next week. So my man K Hill is in the building. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you. Well, last time I had a Disneyland Tokyo in the middle of typhoon. I can just see you too. You're just that kind of guy, Dave. It's like, ooh, there's a typhoon. I bet Disneyland's going to be empty. Like, I could probably get a discount. Oh, yes. Yes. It's definitely chicken-like.
Now
okay,
wait, let me answer this because I've
yes,
heard
go right
Rick
ahead.
say this multiple times.
Yes.
He says it depends. If it lives by the water, it tends to taste a little fishy, right?
Yes.
And if it doesn't live by the water, then it tends to taste like chicken. So
Yes,
I think that's the
depends
right
on what
answer.
it's eating. If it's eating bugs and things like that, it tastes different than if it's eating other things. Because I guess they eat a lot of different things. That's right, man. Listen, we could, if we were ever on Jeopardy and it's iguana facts for 500, Alex. You know, it's like I don't think Alex does it anymore.
I know that one. I know that one.
Yeah. Do you thank Rick for that? Like, if you ever remember that show where you had the lifelines, and if there's ever like an
Can I
iguana,
find a friend?
yeah, it's right. It's like, yeah, you can call one person. It's like,
Oh.
you know, it's like, how many ounces of blood does a typical male iguana have inside? Yeah, you're like, hold on a second. I'm gonna call this guy. He's got me. So yeah. Oh, congratulations, Apex. We can give a round of applause for that. We love that. We love that. And we hope you are experiencing all the wonderful benefits that ketogenic living gives you. And may you have many, many more.
I didn't hear the round of applause.
You didn't? For some reason, it has you muted on my end here. I see you muted.
I'm muted, but that means you can't hear me, not you.
Oh, all right. Listen. Can you hear it now? Huh. Can anybody hear the applause? I don't know. I've had so many technical difficulties here lately. You heard it before, but you just didn't hear it now?
I heard it earlier when you were trying to listen to see before you rebooted your computer, I guess, but I didn't hear it after that.
I don't know if it's me or StreamYard. I was on Zoom calls all day today and had no problems. But for some reason, StreamYard has been a little goofy today. Iguana's like seafood and chicken combined. It says, let me know. I can be in Columbus about 1.5 hours unless I speed in about an hour. I got you. Well, shoot me an email. My email is on my channel or whatever. And we'll see where I'm at and what I'm doing there. And that could definitely work. I also may be in the Dayton area one of those days. I'm not sure. My itinerary is kind of fluid. It also depends on whether or not they put together another indie meetup, because if they do end up doing it 2 weeks in a row, then I'll be in India on Friday. So just don't know, but trying to figure something out. That'll be wonderful.
StreamYard is supposed to raise prices, Rick says.
Oh, I can't join the club. Who isn't raising prices? That's what I want to know. So, kind of like alligator, he says. Yeah, listen, I've said a couple times we need to take a flash mob to Golden Corral after 4 when they have the all-you-can-eat steak.
Oh, I definitely won't be doing that.
We can, so we take a flash mob in there and run them out of meat.
Mm-mm.
Now, see, now again, I understand people who don't like buffets or whatever. I get that. Not me. But hey, listen, before I started this lifestyle, Golden Corral was like Disneyland for me.
I mean, I like buffets, okay.
Yeah.
I grade each one on the appearance and our Golden Corral here is not anything you want to eat at.
Well, they definitely are independently owned and operated, and I know exactly what you mean because we have one here on the north side of Jacksonville, northwestern. It's wonderful. We have one down in southwestern Jacksonville where I live, and it's not so great. But here's the difference. The steak is on its own island on a grill, and they literally grill it and slice it right there on the grill for you. So it's not like it's in a bin or, you know what I mean, if there's a bunch of people, like they literally, you stand there with your plate and they literally cut it off of the, and hand it to you. So if you're just there eating steak, it's a little different than if you're eating all the other things that they have because it's very, fresh and it's right, it's grilled and it's right there. So let's see here. Oh, look that. Hold on a second here. Listen, I'm terrible with all the. You didn't get a doorbell. Hey, listen.
No
Bob didn't get a doorbell. But listen, who the heck needs a doorbell when they're at home? So
okay, so sorry. I was hearing way too many voices because I forgot to shut off the sound coming from YouTube as well as the sound coming from StreamYard. So hello, everyone.
Hello,
yes.
Bob.
Did you hear the applause, Bob?
No. Let's hear it again.
I love that. You can get all the applause you want. Well, the reason I asked is because a few minutes ago, Kim said she couldn't hear it. So I'm like, I was asking you that.
Oh, wait. I hear another ding dong.
Yeah. In a minute.
We have to do our own sound effects.
Bob is going to get his exclusive time here for a few minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I just came in to say hi.
I know you don't ever stay.
You don't ever stay so far.
You don't ever stay very long, and I know it's past your bedtime. You probably got your fuzzy pajamas on right now.
No, actually, it's not that far past my bedtime right now because the busy part of the summer is over. Now I'm just working on getting the trailer ready to go for down to Texas.
Yeah. I love that. It's funny. I summoned you a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you happened to see the stream or whatever, but I said after the first game that we played, I said we were doing the stream, and I said, man, it's about time for my Buckeye brother to show up here in this thing because we got some Buckeye talk to talk about, and he's the number one guy that I go to when I'm doing my venting. So we'll get right to it and get right through it. We'll bring our guy Dave up here. But we're talking. Hey, Dave, good to see you, brother.
Hello.
We're talking American football here for a few minutes. For all the Buckeye faithful out there, and anybody else who's not even Buckeye faithful, but yeah, this is a show about nothing, and therefore it's a show about everything. So
I guess if we can talk about my restaurant experience, we can talk about football.
Yeah, we listen. This is the Cookout.
I got a thing about American football. Why do they wear so much padding and helmets? Are they a bunch of softies?
You must have never seen the game.
It's a violent sport. If you were standing there and a guy that can run a 4.5 40 and also weighs 260 to 270 pounds and can bench press 600 pounds was running full steam at you, you'd want some pads in the way too.
I'd get out of the way.
I think you're missing the point. What he's trying to say is we play Australian rules football and it's rough and tumble and we don't wear any pads or helmets. Well, we
play rugby union, actually. Rugby union, rugby league, and Australian rules. We've got 3 different types of football. But
Yeah, but
rugby
you're not
unions are probably the biggest one.
you're not allowed to do the same things in rugby that you're allowed to do in football. So that's the reason it's a different game. And honestly,
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, Dave. I really would like to see the game go more towards tackling and less hitting because it is safer. I mean, if you really care about the safety of the players, you know, guys if you wrap your arms around a guy and take him to the ground, guys don't generally get very hurt, like in rugby and those sort. But when you launch yourself like a missile, shoulder or forearm first into a guy, that's a whole different animal. So, and that's where guys get hurt. Both the hit T and the hitter. I've seen plenty of plays where both of the guys get carried off the field.
Yeah, I know they get a lot of concussions in that sport, don't they?
Yeah. It's a different game, and I would like to see them.
Too.
Yeah, I'd like to see them get some of the hitting out of the game and more tackling. I think you can hit this guy as hard as you want as long as you wrap your arms around him and take him to the ground. I think for safety, it wouldn't hurt my feelings, but I like the big hits too. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit of Buckeye football. Listen, and I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, Bob, but I'm going to say this anyway. I haven't been impressed with the offense.
I have it. They're not clicking yet. There's a bunch of new players there, and Will Howard is, the thing I'm looking at is that he's only had, of the 2 games I've seen, he's only had a couple of what I would consider bad throws. 99% of his throws are where they're supposed to be. Now,
he's better than before.
Some of them are a little bit too spicy, and the receivers can't handle it. But he's putting the ball where it needs to be, and as the offense meshes more, which is, we've got Marshall this week and then Michigan State next week. We've got plenty.
You say as, I say if, but go ahead.
No, they will. The quarterback is, he's a 5th-year senior graduate transfer from Kansas State, and I thought that the hype surrounding this receiver kid was a little bit much because they're saying, oh, this is a generational talent. He could be the best receiver we've ever had. I thought it was all hype because, last year we had Marvin Harrison Jr., the best receiver ever to play in college football. And going back and watching tape from when Harrison was a freshman, this kid could end up better than Harrison.
Oh, I know.
Jr.
He's the real deal.
I mean,
he's all of it. He's
the real deal, and he has blazing fast speed. If he gets behind the defense, he's just gone. Yeah. There's nobody on the field that can catch him.
I think that what I see right now, and it's right now. We got games to play. I know that, but I have to, compare them to the teams that we got to beat. Texas is ready now. Georgia is ready now. They're ready to play a championship tomorrow.
Yeah, Georgia was really ready to go to Kentucky last week, weren't they?
Well, how those games can be. I mean, they roll their helmets. It's Kentucky, and they roll their helmets out there. But I don't think anybody has any doubt. You saw them the first week, and they were definitely ready to play. So, I'm getting a little fast.
The other thing you need to look at, Russ, is the offensive line. They've only played together for 2 games now, and yet look at how many yards our 2-headed monster in the backfield got on the ground. Yes, now I know it was just Western Michigan, but as they work more things out, I think we have not only the best wide receiver core in the country, we also have the best 1-2 punch at running back in the country.
Listen, I love our team. I'm rooting for our team. I never say we can't win. I sometimes say I don't know how we're going to win, but I never say we can't win. And I'm only grading them on what I see now. You talk about Kentucky. Kentucky would throttle either one of the teams that we played. I mean, they're definitely better than Western Michigan and it's just I'm just watching and hoping and trusting that they will get better, because potential is an amazing thing. Sometimes it's realized, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And my Bengals are exactly the same team. The defense is ready. We have my Buckeyes and Bengals have championship caliber defenses. We can win a championship with the defenses on both those teams. But both the teams, the offense, they're not ready. They're not championship caliber yet. But, my Bengals were missing T. Higgins. Chase missed the whole camp. He's going to get better. The line is new. I'm hoping the same thing that you're hoping for, that we play more, Joe. We played so much better at Kansas City this week than we did the first week with the Patriots. So I'm just, hoping that they continue to get better, and we'll be right there, because that defense is ready to go. We can take them anywhere we want to go. But the offense, sometimes they don't get off the bus.
Yeah, well, all I can say is that my pro team is 2-0.
Who do you like?
Oh, I've always been a Steeler fan.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't know that. Yeah, we never really talked about pros very much. We only talked about Buckeyes.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really watch pro football much anymore. I will occasionally tune in to see who's doing what, but I haven't really watched pro football since my cousin retired from being Pittsburgh's quarterback.
I gotcha. Yeah. Who was that? Terry Bradshaw?
No, Ben Roethlisberger.
I didn't know you. Again, we've never talked about this, so I didn't know. But yeah, he's from Ohio. He's from Findlay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that where you're from in Ohio? Is that your neck of the woods up that way? When you lived in Ohio?
No, he's the Roethlisberger. So I say he's my cousin because it's easier. He's actually my second cousin. Anyway, my great auntie Rhea was a Roethlisberger before she got married and became a king.
There you go.
So that's where the connection is. But anyway, let's talk a little carnivore. How's everything going? I don't believe I've actually met the gentleman who is to my.
Dave?
I think we have actually. I've seen you speaking with Dave, though, Dave Mack. Yeah.
Yes, Dave's our guy. Yeah, I love Dave. Shout out to Dave Mack. But yeah, semi-retired Bob. This is Dave, DC Learning to Live. Dave, this is semi-retired Bob, my Buckeye brother. We're Buckeye born, Buckeye bred, and when we die, we'll be Buckeye dead. That's So yes, and I'll tell you honestly, Bob, and all joking aside, Dave has an incredible story. You should definitely get to know him. He has been through more than most humans can bear, and has a great story. And he's a good friend of the show. So yeah, you can.
Thanks, Russ.
Yeah, no, and he's an encyclopedia. The guy knows everything about everything. So he's a all around good dude, and he's obviously out of the country. So he's not in America. But go ahead, Dave. You can take the floor here and introduce yourself to Bob and anybody else that may not know you.
Okay. I'm DC or Dave. I'm a qualified strength and conditioning coach. I have a sports science background. Diagnosed stage 4 follicular lymphoma twice in 2 years, very high stage 4. 3 years of chemotherapy, about 8 years total in bed, and now just trying to get life going again. And now, actually, next month will be 10 years in remission out of the hospital, 0 medications now.
Wow.
And I will be, that's me basically. And just trying to show what my channel is more about is, it speaks a little bit about the science, but it's also about showing people that you can sort of begin again at any age, and, you take life in a different direction if you need to. But, you could, it's also about, never giving up. Don't give up just because you've had a bad diagnosis or a bit of a rough time. Like, those times that are not permanent. So it's It's also about, just trying to show people if I can come back from so far back, then, you can do it too.
There you go.
Absolutely.
See, I wasn't kidding, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a time where we take the whole show and we bring the show to a grinding halt.
Oh! It's about time for me to go then. If Rick's going to be here,
hey,
I can't be seen hanging out with Rick.
Yeah, hey, and if you notice, there's no applause for this guy.
No.
I'll give him some applause.
How you doing tonight,
How's
Rick?
it going, Rick?
Oh, not bad. I'm very satisfied. I had a very delicious dinner. Mm.
Yeah.
Did you kill one of those ducks you were chasing today?
No, I got an iguana.
Oh, that's even better.
I was on a bike ride, and this iguana was like trying to get away from me. But the thing is, it ran into a tree. It tried to run up the tree, and I grabbed it. So I'm like, wow, this is meant to be. Let me tell you.
Hey, where else but the Keto Cookout could you get this kind of story, buddy? This is why you tune in to see this, man. We have talked about football. We've talked about the iguanas, trees. What could possibly be
and
next,
swinging
man?
meat.
And swinging meat. Yes, you missed the part about swinging meat.
In a restaurant.
Yes. Hey, listen. And thank you and good night. What else can you say? Listen, I started off the song singing Garth Brooks songs. So yeah, man, we try to cover everything in this goofy show, the Keto Cookout. But that's my brother Rick. Always good to see him. But anyway, to wrap up the Buckeye talk, I just go with what I see. I am not one of these guys that can see into the future and see realized potential. I just take them week to week, and I give my prognosis week to week. And so, they were definitely better in week 2 than week 1, no doubt about it. And we'll see what week 3 holds. The schedule does favor us. We have a lot of good games at home, and it's pretty soft top to bottom, our schedule. So,
well, till later.
Yeah. But I'm not worried about anybody in our conference. I'm really not. I'm worried about the Georgias, the Texases,
I think Oregon's going to be a real problem, and USC's looking pretty doggone good too.
It's funny you should mention that. I have to say, I am never, ever worried about any of them West Coast guys. They are cream puffs. I mean, they are a bunch of surfers, and they don't know anything about football. They play volleyball and baseball and stuff out there, and beach volleyball and stuff like that. There's no team west of the Mississippi that strikes fear in my heart. Okay, so but that said, USC went into LSU and gave them the business. And they did it, and they did it in a physical, tough way. So I got to give them credit for that. Either LSU's not as good as we think, or USC's better than we think. I'm not sure which yet.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Georgia's not quite as good as people think they are. They're very good, but they're not quite as good as people think they are.
You got to say they're the team to beat.
But I always have to say that Ohio State's the team to beat because, I've been a Buckeye fan for longer than I've been alive because my dad played football for Ohio State.
Yes, you told me that. But here's a team that I think right now, if their playoffs started today, my heart, of course, would be with the Buckeyes. That's who I'd root for. But if I had to put money down, Texas.
Well, LSU won a national championship with an Ohio State third-string quarterback that couldn't get on the field. And now Texas is starting a third-string Ohio State quarterback that couldn't get on the field.
Yeah. But right now, if the playoffs started this week and I was at gun to my head, I had to make a bet, I'd have to go that way. I think right now they're playing but again, a lot of things can happen. Injuries and
there's a lot of football.
Sometimes teams peak too early. And again, it doesn't matter how good you are. It matters how well you play. So, You show up and you turn the ball over, you don't play well, or this or that. Hey, next thing you know, you're down 21 and you got problems. So that's why they play the games. That's why they play the games. And with that, we are going to. This concludes the football segment of the Keto Cookout. We're going to get on to
thank
meat.
goodness.
Got any questions
Yeah.
out there?
I was just going to say,
if you,
Rick, you were talking to the 70s back there. You got disconnected.
Yes,
Well-
we've seen this one already. If you guys have any questions for Bob or Dave, because trust me, you don't want to ask me or Rick anything, or Kim. But yeah, not unless you want not if you want a serious answer. But Kim, Bob, and Dave are a wealth of information. If you have a question about something, you can ask them, and I'll go down through and see. I know I'm behind on my comments, so we'll go through there. And while I'm looking for that, I will say I had an adventure with a CGM. Only me.
What?
So they came out with the over-the-counter CGMs now, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't
and
aware.
yes, you can buy them now directly from Dexcom on their website. And I bought it's $100 for 2 of them. Each one lasts for 2 weeks. And I put one in, and it lasted an hour before I ripped it out. And then I put the second one in, and it lasted about 2 hours before I ripped it out.
And why is that?
Because you're not used to something like being on you. And so, and I can't see
I got
it.
one right now.
Yes. Yes.
It doesn't bother. Like, I can't even feel it.
Okay, I can't see it. So the first time I was walking out and I I was stepping over something and I just took a little bit of a thing and I rubbed against the door jamb, like the door, the back of my arm against the, just like skimmed it, not like super hard, no big deal. Boom, I could feel it instantly. I'm like, oh no. And I look back there and I'm like, it was hanging out. The other thing too that I've learned, and I've learned a lot through this, and I'm happy to share. The overpatch they give you is garbage.
Yeah, you can order your own though.
Yes, and I did because I started doing some researches. I'm looking through to see if there's any questions or anything there. I don't see any. But so I went online and started looking around and some stuff, and I found out a couple of things. One, the overpatches suck, so I got some better overpatches. And then I also learned that you don't necessarily have to put it on the back of your arm.
No.
A lot of people put them a lot. Now, that's the only place that's FDA approved, but there's lots of people that put them on their stomachs, that put them down lower on their arms, that put them on their backs. I mean, all different places people put them. So I put one on on the back of my forearm where I could see it and everything was good. And again, same kind of thing, just living life. And one thing led to another, and I rubbed it up against, I think I was getting some clothes out of the washer dryer, something I can't remember. And boom, scraped it, and boom, off it goes. I'm like, golly, here we go again. But that one, I got another one that lasted much longer. The problem with it though is the readings were very inconsistent. And I have a Keto Mojo, and I would get some wonky number off of this thing, and I would check the Keto Mojo, and it was just way off. So there's Rick's blood pressure. He's barely alive.
Very impressive, Rick.
Yes, we do this when he's going like.
I've seen
Yeah,
a
he
corpse
checks his
with a higher
blood pressure like every 15 minutes. Yeah. So I have a couple more of them, and I'm going to try some different things. But the last one I had, I didn't have I kept it on for a few days, no problem. But it just, like I said, it would read 101. It would go down to 70, and then it would go up to 111. and I checked my blood sugar with my Keto Mojo twice, and both times it was like 10 points lower than what the CGM read. So I don't know, man. I've got like 2 or
Yeah.
3 of them left.
Well,
I'm definitely going to use them.
it's not
Yeah.
exactly the same because it's not in your bloodstream. Like if you get a
Right.
drop of
Interstitial
blood,
fluid. Yeah.
yeah. So it's not exactly the same, but it's mainly the trends that you want to track with that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and it will show you if it goes up. You know, the time that I had that let's see what it was, Chalk Zero. I thought I put a little bit of that in my coffee because we were given a big thing of Chalk Zero at Keto Palooza. So I thought, well, this must be fine, right? No, it's not fine. Not for me. Not fine.
Yeah. Hey, Lindy. Hey, Simpson. Jeanette. It's my friend from Ohio. She's a Buckeye fan. She lives down in Southern Ohio. Good to see you, sis. Yeah. So I'm not. Like I said, I guess now that I understand it a little bit, now that you've explained it to me, because that's nowhere in the literature, I can't honestly say I didn't expect it to be exactly precise, like pricking my finger, but I didn't expect it to be 10 points off either. So, but like I said, I still have a couple of them left. I'm gonna try them. My Apex Odyssey says I had a horrible time with them too. I felt it the whole time. One of them tore out when I rolled over in bed. One of them started bleeding out of the top. Yeah, now that's an interesting thing too. I did notice that, especially when I moved it lower down my arm. I didn't have the problem on my upper arm, but when I put it down lower on the back of my forearm, when I popped it in, yes, blood really came out of the top of it. And
Really?
I did, yeah. I mean, enough to like it was running down it. Like I had to wipe it off with a napkin in the little hole.
Yeah, it might be easier for you. If you're not comfortable using the CGM, get a blood glucose monitor and just do a pin. Do a finger prick every now and then, like 2 to 3 times a day.
I have a Keto Mojo. I have one of those, but I thought this would be easier and simpler.
I would put it on your abdomen. I have a friend who is a type 1 diabetic, and so she wears one all the time, and she wears hers on her abdomen.
That's going to work for me because I don't know how I can make it through the night with that thing, because I sleep on my stomach a lot and I toss and turn. So I have a feeling that thing it'd be under my pillow poking me.
But
I don't know what to tell you, Russ.
Well, now that I kind of understand that from what I'm hearing from you is that it's not uncommon maybe to have some swings and to have some odd numbers from time to time.
Yeah. So especially like if you get in the shower, it's going to go way up because the blood flow is increased to that area. So it's just like, it just gives a wacky, wonky reading. And then when you get out of the shower, it's fine. And then sometimes when you lay on it, it'll say it's really, really low. And it'll wake me up in the middle of the night saying it's, really low.
I heard about that. It's called a
really
pressure reading or something like that, they call it. So, like I said, they don't put any of that in the literature. So you just expect it to be within a few points of your normal blood sugar. And I don't know how often yours, it's not exactly the same as the prescription strength one. So
mine's the prescription one.
Yes, this one, it's the app is different. I don't know that the thing is different, but I guess like mine only tells you your blood sugar every 15 minutes. I think the one that's prescription is a shorter time period than that. It's every 5 minutes or something, maybe. How does yours work, Kim?
I don't know. I don't read the literature. I just slapped it on there and went with it.
But you don't know how often it checks your blood sugar? Like, does it?
No, because it doesn't say. It just changes.
Oh.
I could probably
yeah. Mine does too, but it'll change. It'll say, like, if I'm sitting there looking at it, it'll say boom, and then it'll say check, as of 12 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, and it counts down, till.
No, mine doesn't do anything like that. It just has like, the. Let's see here.
Hey, Lindy.
I don't know.
So I'm gonna
Looks like every 5 minutes, just by judging by the record.
Yeah,
Looks
that's
like
what it
every
said.
5
I think the
minutes.
literature I read is that the prescription ones will do it, check your blood every 5. Mine checks every 15, which is fine with me. I don't have any problem with that. But like I said, if it's more about the trend than the number, okay, I can rock with that now that I understand that. So it doesn't matter if it shoots from 110, to 150. If that number is really 100 to 135, the point is
I
it's going
mean,
up.
so the thing is if it shoots up to 150, either it's some sort of error that it's going to come back down real quick, or you're going to see it stay up there for a while.
No, let me rephrase. I said, didn't mean what I said. If it's at 100 and I eat something and it shoots up to
gotcha.
150, it may not, my blood sugar may not be 150. It may actually be 135, but the point is it made a jump. That's the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be concerned with, I'm not even, my A1C in my last blood test was 4.8. So I don't have any issues that way. I'm really just using it purely for informational because I do want to see if there's anything that I'm eating, artificial sweeteners, maybe coffee, just different things that are pushing my sugars up. Maybe my waffle bread that I make, my chaffles or whatever. Just curiosity, and it's not something I plan on doing for any long period of time. I really just want to do it maybe off and on for a month or two, maybe a couple weeks on, a couple weeks off, and just informational.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is. I actually loved it when I put it in. It didn't hurt. I didn't feel it. Everything was great. I'm like, this is awesome. I checked, the first reading. It came back at like 101, and that's pretty normal for me to be in the mid 90s to the low hundreds. That's kind of where I stay. And then all of a sudden, I looked at it like 2 hours later, it read 70. And I was like, I don't think that's right.
Is.
Why do you not think that's right?
Well, because I've had my Keto Mojo for probably 6 to 8 months, and I've never had a reading lower than 84.
I've had it in 50.
So, for it to go from 101 to 70 in the span of 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, they could easily do that. Like that's, if you eat and then you are not eating for a while, it could easily do that. Especially with you not eating very many carbs.
I've used those goofy strips, and you wouldn't believe some of the numbers I got. I've had it as low as 51, 52, and they told me, oh, do you feel okay? I feel fine. So I don't know how you can trust that thing, if it's accurate or what, but is it true that if it's 50-something, you should be passing out?
No, it just depends on, like, if you're used to not eating any carbs, your body's used to that. So it's not, your body is not going to respond the way that a diabetics would.
So
and it could be a calibration issue, but I mean, I know lots of carnivores who have sugars that go down into the 50s and it doesn't cause them any symptoms. It's all relative to whether or not you're symptomatic,
Yeah, I've never been symptomatic, but this is the thing, you go to the doctor and they're telling you your blood sugar is too low. This was back in 96, the last time I went to the doctor. My cholesterol was the highest for any 28-year-old he'd ever seen, and my blood sugar was 51 or 52 or something like that. They told me I was going to have a heart attack or stroke by my 50s. And I don't know. I'm 56 now. Listen, better hurry up.
Listen, you just should have told him and said, "Yeah, my cholesterol is high, but my IQ is low, so it all balances out."
Just see how fat and disgusting the doctor was too.
Hey, easy now.
Hard when you're talking to him.
Easy now with the fat.
I'm not talking about you. You're talented. You're attractive. You got a great voice. You're fat. You're definitely fat, but you ain't ugly.
This is getting really deep, Rick. Really deep.
Okay,
now we've lost Russ.
Rick, he's just big bone.
Yes, Rick, I will marry you.
But can anybody say that Russ is ugly and really mean it? Because he ain't ugly. I mean, look at him. He's not ugly. He's fat, He's fat like a Muscovy duck, and a big fat Muscovy duck is really cute.
duck.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Muscovy duck is extremely cute with their waggly tail and their big head and the feathers that stick up.
Oh
You know,
Lord.
they're awesome.
Oh, I can't take it. Yeah, that's what they used to call me when I was younger, Muscovy Russ.
Hey, it could be worse. You could be skinny and sickly looking like me and be mistaken for a vegan.
Oh man,
You got too much
listen,
color in your skin, Rick.
hey,
Yeah,
Listen,
you're probably
fail.
right.
hey,
I
listen,
couldn't
I can
pass for
tell.
a vegan, could
Listen,
I?
Listen, I can
Michael
tell.
Jackson went vegan, and look how white he ended up.
I can
Yeah,
tell
you-
Rick's been drinking that rainwater off his roof again. I can
For
always
you-
tell
for
when
you
you're
to
drinking
look
that
like a-
rainwater off your roof.
For you to look
I
like a
always
vegan,
feel.
Rick, you'd have to be as white as Kim's inner arm is there when she puts her hand, when she puts her arm up, this
Hey.
section of her skin. You'd have to be
Yes.
that pale.
You-
I'm white. Look at how white my
Yes.
legs are.
I am white.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
people are from Europe. Like
You
I don't have
leave-
anything interesting at all in my DNA. Okay, leave my white arm
leave,
alone.
You leave my.
Oh,
pasty
I'm with
friend
you.
alone.
I'm actually as white as you are.
You just
I
get
just-
out in the sun a lot more.
I
The
just spend
Europeans
a
are very interesting. Actually, beautiful cultures up there.
I
Oh
spend
my
a
God.
lot of time in the
Yeah,
sun.
I just jokingly say that, but
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Rick never disappoints. That is my guy. Let's
Actually,
see
a couple
here.
of things you got to think about, Russ. Though, when you're talking about tracking your blood glucose levels and your A1C, like A1C basically runs on how fast your body turns over dead blood cells, and your red blood cells live longer on the carnivore diet. So actually, carnivores will have a higher A1C than like a ketogenic diet. And I think the best thing you could do is just track your blood glucose levels. They will spike after eating, for example, but the best time to track it would probably be like the middle between meals. So like if you eat like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, say 3 meals, like at least a couple of hours before or after a meal would probably give you the most accurate reading of what your blood glucose levels are doing throughout the day. And fasted, and if you want to check how low it can get, do a fast and track it over fasting as well. So
Yeah, fasting. I'm not sure what that is. Never heard of it. But
that's the time between your meals.
yeah, there'll be no fasting.
Good job, Rick. Good job.
I'm a much better
I have that
slower.
heart attack sooner or later.
Actually, yeah, I do.
I've seen corpses with higher numbers than Rick's.
Yes, I do. I'm on a night fasting program. Some people call it sleep. I call it night fasting. I refuse to eat anything while I'm sleeping. Will not do it. So yeah, again, it's informational purposes because again, I know what I eat, so I know 90% of my diet. I know what that's going to be. I really got the Keto Mojo for ketone testing. I really didn't get the Keto Mojo for blood glucose because I don't have a problem there, and like I said, I know what I eat. It's just when I eat certain things that aren't meat. I have a few things that I eat pretty regularly that aren't meat. I have my waffle bread that I make. It's just eggs, cream, coconut flour, and coconut oil powder, just 4 ingredients, not really much in it. And then I have a few little just like sauces and condiments and things. And then I do coffee with some artificial sweeteners. Again, nothing that I really think is derailing, but you never know. Like I said, that's really why I got it. And I thought it'd be cool to have it on all the time so I can just check it, anytime I want instead of, going finding my thing and opening the strips and going through all that stuff and poking it's just, I have 1,000 more blood glucose strips than I do keto strips. Unfortunately, you have to buy them together. If I could, I'd just buy the ketone strips, and because I just don't
I
use
don't
the
see
blood
there's
sugar.
really not much point to like measuring for like ketone strips. Like they're not very accurate anyway, ketone strips, because you're really just measuring the excess that your body's secreting. But apart from that, I mean,
No, these
you
are
get,
these are blood ketone
oh,
strips,
okay, blood ones, so that's
not
good.
urine. Yeah.
But, I
So
mean,
it's a you're not
if
heard of
you're
the
fat
Keto Mojo?
adapted,
Are you
if
not
you're
familiar with
fat
the Keto
adapted, you're going to
Mojo?
be in ketosis anyway. So I
Yeah,
mean, you just got to trust that your body's going to do it.
yeah, but
I think that,
I like to check them. I do like
yeah,
it. It lets me know how well I'm doing, how deep I am. I enjoy, I just like to know that I only do it once a week or so. It's not like an everyday thing.
yeah.
But yeah.
actually am often not in ketosis on a carnivore diet. And I don't know if
Yeah,
that's overeating of protein or what, or like Dr. Berry says that your body just kind of gets used to it to where you're utilizing them better to where your ketones are. I don't know.
Well, how do you know? Do you have a Keto Mojo?
You're gonna dip in and out
Oh.
every time you eat. You're gonna dip out. You're gonna come out of ketosis. All right. So you just gotta trust.
Yeah,
that your
I'm talking
body,
about first thing in the morning.
yeah, that
So
could be there. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't explain it, but
So what are you?
I would.
So what are
My
you?
guess is that I'm eating too much protein because I have a grown man size appetite. Maybe that's it.
But when
I
you
don't know.
measure it first thing in the morning, is it after activity or like before you get out of bed, sort of thing?
Just when I first wake up and I come downstairs and haven't had anything to eat or drink.
Well, you should try do a bit of circulation exercise first. Get the blood flowing first, and then check it. You might get a more accurate reading.
So what does your meter say? What kind of reading do you get?
I mean,
Is it
like
zeros?
No, it'll be like 0.3, 0.5. Like it's practically no ketones at all.
Well, 0.5 is in ketosis.
I mean, it's low. A lot of people say they get like 3, and I don't know.
I've never been that high. I'm usually between 0.5 and 0.9 pretty regularly, but I've never been north of 1. So
Rick is like, I don't care about ketosis. I don't care about any of this.
Yeah, Rick's been in ketosis since 1974. Yeah.
Banana Tuesday. Banana has to ripen in a certain way. Oops.
He does.
Rick reminds me of Gilligan's Island.
He does.
Yeah. Something Ginger would wear.
I think he got that microphone from Gilligan's Island too.
There we go. Simpson says, "So is Russ going to show his waggly tail now?" That'd be a negative, Ghost Rider. Yeah. Yes. Hey, Josephine. She says, "Hey, Mama Cracker's with us.
Hey.
Good to see you. Good to see you." I don't know if I read this. The instructions on the Dexcom say it's normal to have some incorrect and wildly varying readings the first 12 hours. They recommend use the backup method. Like I said, I'm not even pre-diabetic. So this really is purely just, something that a ketogenic person, this is our idea of fun, wearing CGMs and, things like that. That's our idea of a good time. So we've already
got the Encyclopedia Britannica and the
oh yes, he's got the whole Funkin' Wagnall set back there. Yeah, he's got the whole.
Do you speak to Beaver on that, man?
Yeah,
back in the 60s.
Listen, and I saw a short. That's not just a prop, okay? I happened to go on I saw on your channel, Mr. Rodriguez, you dialing with that thing, not only using the rotary dial, but people don't know that you can dial by pressing the little down side. If you do it the right way, you can actually dial using it. And he actually did that live on the internet.
That's right.
And made another phone ring, dialing just using the buttons, not the rotary buttons, but the 2 buttons that the dial tone I guess what
Mhm.
you say.
That's
Yeah.
talent. That's
You
talent.
Yes.
you just have to get the cadence right on that button.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Mama
And I even
Cracker,
put a
Rick,
voltmeter and a
Rick, do you
oscilloscope.
still use 8-tracks? But I think 8-tracks
I
are too
have 8
advanced for Rick.
tracks. I have LPs, 8
I think
tracks,
they're too modern
cassette,
for Rick, aren't they?
reel to reel. But don't worry, most of it's digitized. I have most of it on a server. So what people don't understand, I got the stereo from the trash pile. It actually has an MP3 player built in, so I can play with MP3. But whenever somebody comes over, I'll reach over there, get some of my albums, my 8 tracks, my cassettes, and pull it out. Well, the last friend of mine that came over, I had to drive him crazy, so I took out 101 Strings Does Disco, and that drove him out of the house. It didn't take long.
Yeah, if you want to give a teenager a nervous breakdown, give him that phone and tell him to call and order a pizza.
Oh, you want to get better than that? My payphone out front. I had my friend's son. He's like 21. I told him, if you can make a call with this phone, I'll give you $20. So he was all excited. I gave him a quarter, and I gave him 5 minutes. He gave up. He gave
Oh my
up.
goodness.
Oh my goodness. I think he answered
That's
that one, Mama. Yes, he does. My Apex House. I want to set up a second penis. Hey, I know a guy that's got a set he'll sell you for $6.
Yeah. I used to
With
be so
100
bored as a kid. I would just lay in the floor and read it encyclopedias at my grandmother's house.
Yes, folks, only on the Keto Cookout can you get this type of information. If you have been
That's
listening
right.
closely, you know that iguana can taste like chicken or seafood. You've learned that you can dial with the buttons on a rotary phone, and you've learned that I am fat. All on the Keto Cookout.
But good looking.
It's amazing. Yes. Yes. And Rick and I'm calling off the engagement. I really didn't mean that. But yes.
Oh,
You have,
Lordy.
and Rick's blood pressure is just north of a cadaver. So there you have it. He's got just enough of a pulse to not be declared legally dead.
I've seen bed rails with higher pressure than that, Rick. When the cuff is accidentally left on the bed rail of the bed and we hit the button. Yeah, I've seen bed rails that had higher blood pressure than yours.
I've seen train rails that had higher blood pressure.
So what you're telling me is that I have some of the lowest blood pressure anybody you've ever seen.
I mean, it's pretty low. I wouldn't say it's the lowest I've ever seen, but it's pretty it's pretty low.
But for somebody that's as active as I am, that's not half dead. I mean, you see how crazy I am. And my blood pressure doesn't go up. So how can that be?
Because the blood is not circulating fully. It's not being pumped hard enough to reach.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm not no doctor, but I can tell you right now, you don't have enough blood flowing to your brain. I can tell you that.
Well, if you never use your brain, your blood just stops flowing up there because it figures what's the point? He's not going to use it anyway.
I've known him long enough to know that, there's definitely a lack of oxygen to the brain there. But that's all right. He runs in econo mode.
Well, that's probably it. I think that that's one of the reasons I haven't gotten as old as my friends, because I'm not running all out. I'm running in kind of idle or something like that.
Yeah, you're in overdrive here on the freeway. Yeah, just cruising. If RPMs are down around 2, it's
I mean, they say that is true about your heartbeat. Like I don't want to say you've only got so many beats, but the faster your heart beats, the less life you're probably going to have.
Something. My heart rate has dropped a lot since I started doing this. I have one of those cardio mobile things. I don't know if you ever seen those that you put your name. It does like an EKG kind of deal. My beats per minute were routinely in the 90s when I first got that thing.
Wow.
And they say anything from 70 to 120 is normal, but like mid 90s, and now it's never north of 90. It's usually in the mid 80s now.
So normal is really like 60 to 100.
Mine can be as low as 52, 53.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
It's usually somewhere between 60 and 80. That's normal for me.
Well, it's funny because I hadn't used it in forever. I bought it like 2 years ago, before I even was into ketogenic anything. And I actually was digging through the drawer looking for something else, and I stumbled across it about a month ago. And I pulled it out. I'm like, huh. And I, put my fingers on it and all that, and it was beaten. And it was like 86. I'm like, I thought something was wrong with it because I'd never seen a number in the 80s. So I did it again. It was 84. And then I did it about a week later. It was 85. I'm like, well, I guess this thing isn't broken. But I'm telling you, I use that thing probably twice a week for I don't know how long, and it was never less than like 93, 94. So
Wow.
I guess eating carnivore diet slows your heart down.
It must be. My heart rate does go up when I see an iguana, so I have to admit that.
Yeah. Your heart rate goes up Tuesday night at 9:00. That's
My my heart rate went up the last time I had to push my van too. I had to push it a quarter mile.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
That thing's heavy too. I mean, it's got to weigh over 7,000 pounds. I mean, that thing's big.
Well, who was driving the iguana?
No, I just kind of put my hand on the steering wheel to guide it while I was pushing it through the door frame.
Lord.
I'm sure
Yeah.
my
You
neighbors
know, I
laugh.
would love to see videos of some of this stuff that Rick tells us about, like him riding a bike and just jumping off and
Yeah.
running and chasing
You
and
need the
tackling an
camera crew.
iguana.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
gonna say taking a video and pushing a truck, that'd be a hard thing to do.
Yeah,
I
well,
want to listen. You have to figure out a way to set up some type of stealth camera when you're iguana hunting. That is must see. That would break the internet.
well, it's like
I mean,
today. I went to the store. I didn't expect to go hunting, but the iguana ran across the bike path, and then I was like, "Let me see if I can grab his tail." And he ran up the tree, but then slipped. I don't know what happened. He must have bark must have been loose or something, and he slided down. I grabbed his tail, and once I had him by the tail, that was it. And I learned my lesson. I keep a burlap bag under the seat of my bike from now on. So once I got him, I held on to him until he wore out, and then I put him in the burlap bag.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is you
Yeah.
only get to eat all the slow and sickly ones.
That's right. That's the whole idea. You don't want to eat the good ones. You want them to breed. I don't mess with the little ones. If they're less than 3 feet long, I don't touch them. But once they get over 3 feet long, they're on the menu.
The sustainable farming of iguanas.
And the funny thing is, around here, there's hardly any. But just about a mile down the road, the canal's loaded with them. I made a video. There's some monsters over there. So I'm going to have to start going there and catching them. But they're quick,
Need a fishing net.
what I'm going to have to do is get a boat. I got a little rowboat here. I'm going to put it in the canal, and I'm going to get in the water, and I'm going to wait, and then I can shoot them from the water where nobody can see me. Every time they try to run for the water, I'll get one. So it'll be easy to catch them. Just got to get them before the gators get them. If there's a gator in there, it'll eat them before I can.
Well, here's the question. I know that the folks want to know. What, if anything, are you doing to rebuild your duck population after the incredible, devastating massacre that occurred at the hands of rogue raccoons, bloodthirsty raccoons?
Well, I had to haul off 3 raccoons. There may still be one here, but I already said if I see him, he's not getting a ride. He's getting blasted. Even if I have to turn him into a Davy Crockett hat. I don't want them around my house. They live in the attic. They make a mess. So if I catch him, I'm going to blow his head off. And then I'll go ahead and make I'll make a hat out of him. But I'm going to round up some ducks. There's a bunch of ducks behind the bank. I'm thinking about trapping maybe 10 or 12 of them and bringing them over here and turning them loose. Because they're all around the Wells Fargo. And I know the bank hates them. I already told them. I said, you don't mind if I catch them? He said, no, take them away. They hate them because there's so much poop back there. There's got to be like 30 or 40 of them back there. So I'm thinking about getting my net and catching them. I've been feeding them junk food. So they see me coming and they come around, And I got my throw net. I got my throw net and I got my van. I'm gonna go over there and just load it up.
Next thing you know, you're going to be on the news.
Why is that?
This man is out here catching these iguanas and eating them.
Listen. You beat me. Listen, you beat me to the punch here because listen. Again, this is breaking news, people. This is information you will only get on the Keto Cookout. Rick, tell us what kind of work goes into preparing for a hunt of ducks. I mean, you're going. You got the ducks behind the bank. You've already scouted a location. What kind of reconnaissance? What kind of operation are we talking about here? I mean, this is a sensitive mission. What kind of planning goes into this? Give us, take us behind the scenes.
Well, the first thing you got to do, you got to make friends with the ducks. So they have to associate you with food. So you get as much. I go to the Aldi dumpster, get as much food as I can get: bread, chips, whatever. I get friends give me their leftovers, and I go to the back of the bank. I start feeding them. Then every time they see me coming, they'll congregate. So once you get enough of them over there eating the duck food, then you get the throw net ready. So you got to kind of guide them over to where the fence is. And when they go towards the fence, you throw the net over them. And once you got the throw net over the ducks, then you just got to get your cages. And I got a bunch of those dog cages. So you start grabbing the ducks and stuffing them in the cages. And you try them. You're not going to get all of them. I mean, you may get 12, maybe 10, whatever you can get. So you want to get at least 4 females to every male. So a lot of times I'll just let the males go. I'll get like one of the best looking drakes I can find, stuff it in the cage, then start stuffing females in. And then it's just a matter of once you got them stuffed in the cage, you just take the cage over to the truck or the van. And then, when you're ready to go, you just start it up and go. You drive home and then you put the cages around your yard. You put some duck food over there, open up the doors. They'll go running and flying all over the place. But once they know where the duck food is, they'll stay around. They won't leave.
It's kind of like what supermarkets do to people.
That is fascinating and amazing. We lost Bob there. Listen, a lot of people don't know that Bob is very sensitive, and Bob was actually raised by a family of ducks. So this really to just kind of set him off there, triggered him. So,
but the thing about the ducks behind the bank, a lot of them are sick. If you look at the videos that I've made, they have angel wing where their feathers are sticking out. So they've been eating a lot of duck food. So that's why they're easy to catch. But once I get them here, I'll weed them out. And the sickest ducks usually are the ones that end up in the kitchen. So they have a special date with my refrigerator or freezer, depending on the moment I'm in. Normally, I don't like to freeze the ducks. I like them as fresh as possible. So if I'm going to cook a duck, from the moment that ducky goes through the guillotine to the moment it hits my stomach is going to be less than 8 hours. So it's going to be fresh.
I love that. Well, folks, as I always tell you, these are things you can only find out here. Mama Cracker says raccoons do make good pets, and my question to her is compared to what? So, there you go. And our friends, as always, we've gotten to the point where we have fulfilled our contractual obligations. I want to thank you all for joining us as always. Rick, brother, always, your family is always good to see you. Dave, you, Kim, what more do I need to say? Special thank you to my man, semi-retired by my Buckeye brother. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Now, next week we are off. I will be on my way. Actually, I'll be in Ohio. Don't know where I'll be, what time. So next week, no show. The week after that, we'll be back with our girl, Laura Russell. She'll be hanging out with us, and we'll be back at it. So until next time, as always, we wish you all the best. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.